A machine with a name. This story was inspired by the IJOEAR article Swarm Robotics in Agriculture, Small Robots, Big Impact. Swarm robotic farming has reached practical deployment, with fleets of small robots patrolling fields to identify and target weeds with AI precision. Chibi worked the third row of the field, 12 inches long, 4 small wheels carrying it slowly across the soil. When its camera spotted a weed, a nozzle released a precise mist of herbicide. It never touched the crops, only the weeds. Each day it covered about 300 feet before returning to its charging station at dusk. Chibi's official designation was WR037, but Caleb called it Chibi. Caleb was 10, a farmer's son. His family's field held 20 weeding robots that wandered the rows each day. No heavy machinery, just a quiet swarm of small machines tending the land in the way of the new era. Caleb had named every single one of them. The smallest was Chibi, the slowest was Noro. The round one was Maruko. The one with a wheel that sometimes slipped was Katakta. The one assigned to the outermost row was Hajime. His father Greg had been unimpressed at first. Caleb, don't name the machines. If one breaks, we swap it out. But they're in our field every day. It feels wrong not to give them names. Wrong, they're robots. Still, Chibi is Chibi. Greg said nothing more. After school, Caleb would run straight to the field. He'd toss his backpack on the porch, pull on his boots, and go, "Chibi, Noro, I'm back." The robots never answered. They had no speakers, no voice. Just cameras and nozzles and motors. Simple machines, nothing more. But when Caleb came close, a camera would shift slightly. It was only an obstacle detection response, yet to Caleb, it looked as though the robot were watching him. "Hey Chibi, we did this experiment at school today. Photosynthesis. How leaves make food from sunlight. The crops you're protecting, they do that too. Isn't that amazing?" Chibi moved on silently toward the next weed. Caleb watched it go and said, "Busy, huh? Okay, I won't bother you," and walked over to Maruko instead. The rainy season came, 3 days of steady rain. On the 4th morning, Caleb went out to the field. Chibi was gone, not in its usual third row, not at the charging station. Caleb searched every row, every corner. Chibi, Chibi. He found it at the far edge of the field, where the ground had turned to mud. Its wheels were sunk deep, spinning uselessly. The battery indicator blinked in rapid, fading pulses. "Chibi, are you okay?" Caleb crouched down and tried to pull it free, small but heavy, nearly 9 pounds. He gripped the casing with both hands and heaved. Chibi came loose. Mud clung to every wheel. Caleb wiped it down with a towel. "I'm sorry, Chibi. I didn't notice sooner." Chibi's camera turned toward Caleb, just a sensor reacting to movement, but to Caleb, it looked like Chibi was saying thank you. At dinner, Caleb spoke up. "Dad," Chibi got stuck in the mud. WR037. The ground gets soft after rain. That's the limit of its sensors. Can you fix it? Just needs its wheels cleaned. It's not really broken, but the battery light was flashing. It looked like it was hurting. Greg set down his fork. "Caleb, robots don't feel pain. The battery was just low." "I know." Caleb took a sip of his soup. He knew. Chibi was a machine. It couldn't feel pain or joy. The name was something Caleb had given it. Chibi itself didn't know its own name. And yet, "Dad, will you wash Chibi's wheels in the morning?" "Yeah, I'll take care of it." The next morning, Caleb found Chibi back in the third row. Its wheels were clean. Greg had done it first thing. Chibi moved at its usual pace, slowly, steadily. Camera finding a weed, nozzle releasing its mist, as if nothing had happened. Caleb felt a quiet relief and checked on the others. Noro, there. Maruko, there. Katakta, there. Hajime, there. All 20 accounted for. "Morning, everyone. How are you all doing?" 20 robots moved through the field in their unhurried way. No voices came back, but the hum of 20 small motors made the whole field tremble faintly. To Caleb, it sounded like an answer. Autumn, harvest season arrived. The crops had grown tall and full. This year the weeds had done little damage, and the yield was above average. Greg looked satisfied. The robots did well. Less chemicals, and the soil stayed soft. Chibi and the gang did well. Chibi and the gang. Greg looked out over the field. Between the harvested rows, the robots still walked, checking the leftover stalks. Caleb, yeah, we might add 5 more robots next year. I'm thinking of expanding the field. Then I need to think of names. You're still naming them? Of course. Without a name, they're not part of the team. Greg smiled a little and said nothing. At dusk, Caleb crouched beside Chibi at the charging station. Good work today, Chibi. See you tomorrow. Chibi's camera began to dim as it entered sleep mode. The small indicator light faded slowly to nothing. A machine with a name. Perhaps it was no longer just a machine, at least not to Caleb. Tomorrow morning, Caleb would toss his backpack on the porch again and run to the field, calling out, Chibi. And Chibi would not answer, but it would be there, in the 3rd row. Every day, without fail. That was enough.